Most people think mermaids are just fairy tales for children, but here is the catch. Governments around the world have quietly documented sightings for decades. A leaked report from a construction site in Zimbabwe shows workers refusing to enter the water because of attacks by fish people. Now, new high-definition video from a fishing boat proves these workers were right. We are not talking about friendly cartoons. We are talking about apex predators with sharp teeth and human intelligence. The truth is far scarier than any movie you have ever seen. The Midnight Attack. A wave of mysterious videos is taking over the internet. A crew of fishermen surrounded by mermaid-like creatures in the middle of the night. A half-human, half-fish body washing up on the shores of India, shocking everyone who saw it. These aren't legends. We are getting closer. They were all caught on camera. Stay until the very end because what you are about to see might change what you believe about the ocean forever. This first clip is enough to make your heart skip a beat. The footage shows a group of mermaid-shaped beings swimming around a fishing boat late at night. The deck lights shine down on the water, reflecting off their shimmering violet-blue skin that glows like metallic scales. Their golden eyes, sharp teeth, and the veins pulsing across their faces make them look both unreal and terrifying, like something ripped straight out of a sci-fi horror movie. But the most chilling part is that they do not swim away when they are spotted. Instead, one of them suddenly charges straight at the camera, mouth open wide, letting out a high-pitched scream that sends the cameraman stumbling backward. Under the flickering light, the others keep up with the boat effortlessly, moving in sync, almost like predators circling their prey. The crazy part is that some people say it is all artificial intelligence or just special effects, but the tiny details like the reflections on the water, the sound of breathing, and the way the light hits their skin feel too real to ignore. Basically, marine biologists have pointed out that deep-sea creatures often have bioluminescent properties, which explains the glowing violet skin. Could it be divers in costume or something else entirely? Because if they are not afraid of humans, just imagine how close they might get next time. This next video spread like wildfire across the internet, and it is one that is almost impossible to believe. A diver exploring a coral reef believed to be somewhere off the coast of the Philippines was filming inside an area full of deep cracks and narrow caves. This is the perfect hiding place for sea creatures. As he shined his flashlight into one of the dark crevices, a human-like face suddenly appeared in the shadows. Its eyes were wide open, hair floating around its head, and pale skin reflecting light like fish scales. The diver froze for a moment, thinking it was just his imagination, until the creature moved, slowly lifted its head, looked directly into the camera, then with one powerful flick of its tail darted out of the cave. The water swirled into a cloud of white bubbles, and the panic in the scream of the diver echoed through the footage. So raw, so real, it made the skin of viewers crawl. Some say the video was fake, but there are no signs of editing anywhere in the frame. The lighting, the movement, and the reaction of the diver all feel too authentic. Marine experts believe the clip could have been filmed over 60 feet deep, where light barely reaches and the water stays still. An ideal place for something or someone to hide. Creepy, isn't it? But here is the catch. These mermaid-like beings are getting closer to us than ever before. A man from Malaysia uploaded this video, and within hours it went viral with millions of views. He said he was walking along a small river near a residential area when he noticed something moving slowly near the edge of the water. At first, he thought it was a crocodile or a large snake, but when he looked closer, everything changed. The creature had a human-like head, while its lower body moved gracefully, like the tail of a fish. You can hear the trembling voice of the man in the video, filled with panic as he gasps in disbelief. The creature slithered along the riverbank before gently diving underwater, disappearing into the still, murky current. There were no air bubbles, no splashing, just a slim human-like shape gliding out of sight. And the scariest part is that the river is less than half a mile from a nearby village. If this thing is real, where could it be swimming right now? And now comes a story that no one could have expected. A fisherman out at sea claimed he was being chased by mermaids. In the video, his hands shake as he holds the camera, breathing fast in pure fear. Behind the boat, 3 strange figures can be seen swimming right after him. At first, he thought they were dolphins, but just seconds later, the shapes became clear. Half human, half fish, with long arms pushing through the waves, moving at unbelievable speed. At one point, they swam almost parallel to the boat, only a few feet away. The man shouts that they are getting closer, and he can hear them talking. His voice trembles between the sound of crashing waves and roaring wind. You can see his terrified face as the boat speeds up, water splashing violently behind him. The creatures do not stop. They keep following for nearly a full minute before vanishing into the silver waves. No one knows what happened afterward, but the internet exploded with thousands of comments within hours. Is he safe? Did they catch up to him? Some asked. If this was not staged, then maybe mermaids are not just legends anymore. Maybe they are already swimming right beneath the same waves we call endless. But what most people don't realize is that these sightings are becoming more aggressive. The next piece of evidence was kept hidden for years: the Israeli reward. And if you think all of this sounds too crazy to be true, just wait. Because what comes next is not rumor or myth. It is real events with witnesses and even footage that some say proves mermaids exist. This next one is considered one of the clearest pieces of evidence ever recorded. In 1967, near Main Island in British Columbia, a group of ferry passengers spotted a blonde woman sitting on a rocky shore, holding a live fish and eating it as if it was the most normal thing in the world. No one could believe what they were seeing until someone snapped a photo. The picture showed her lower body shaped exactly like that of a dolphin. The story spread like wildfire. A local aquarium owner even offered a $25,000 reward for anyone who could capture the mermaid. But just weeks later, she vanished without a trace. The photo remains, the stories remain, but the truth is still unsolved. Did those travelers really witness a mermaid that day, or just an illusion born from the cold, mysterious ocean? But it is not just travelers seeing these things. It all started as a routine catch after a storm. A crab fishing boat off the coast of Florida hauled up something heavy in its nets. The crew thought it was a dead dolphin until they looked closer. Lying motionless on the deck was a figure with human features, gray skin, tangled hair, and hands that twitched ever so slightly. The fishermen froze, unsure if they were staring at something alive or something that should not exist. They placed it inside an empty crab tank, sealed the lid, and waited for daylight to report it. But when the sun came up, the tank was empty. Only a thin layer of salt residue and a strange metallic smell were left behind. Since then, sailors have whispered that something still roams those waters, something that once got caught in a storm and was mistaken for a mermaid. But here is where it gets really serious. In 2012, something so strange happened in Zimbabwe that even the government got involved. At two major dam construction sites, workers suddenly abandoned their posts, claiming they had been grabbed and pulled underwater by half-human, half-fish creatures. The Minister of Water Resources at the time was forced to admit publicly that no one dared to go back. Local chiefs were brought in to perform cleansing rituals because villagers believed the waters were haunted by mermaids, ancient spirits said to guard lakes and rivers. But the most chilling part is that even when foreign engineers were brought in to replace the workers, they reported seeing the same thing and refused to continue the project. Skeptics blamed dangerous whirlpools, but witnesses swore they felt hands gripping their ankles, dragging them into the darkness. If those were not mermaids, then what could possibly terrify hundreds of people all at once? And get this, this was not the first time military or industrial personnel encountered these beings. Let's go back to World War II. Straight out of wartime history, Japanese soldiers stationed on the K Islands in Indonesia reported seeing small humanoid figures rising from the water at night. At first, they thought they were fishermen, but as they watched closer, their blood ran cold. Locals called them orang ikan, meaning fish people. They stood about 4 feet tall with pale pinkish skin like salmon, spines running down their backs, wide mouths, and large glowing eyes. The strangest part is that they did not have tails. Instead, they had frog-like legs and clawed hands that helped them crawl quickly on the wet sand. One night, soldiers saw one jump onto a rock and make gurgling noises, almost like it was trying to speak. They opened fire. The water exploded and then went silent. Weeks later, a village chief brought Sergeant Taro Hariba the body of a strange creature matching their exact description. After that, nothing more was ever heard about the orang-ikan. The reports vanished. The photos were never released. Some believed they were real. Others say the soldiers stumbled upon a secret biological experiment. But even today, fishermen in Indonesia whisper that something still moves beneath those waters. Decades later, the world was stunned again, this time with an official government announcement. In 2009, in the coastal city of Kiryat Yam, Israel, locals reported seeing a half-human, half-fish creature appear at sunset. Witnesses described a young woman with wet hair who would leap and dance on the surface before vanishing in an instant. At first, no one believed it, but as sightings multiplied, the story spread so fast that city officials had to step in. They announced a $1 million reward for anyone who could capture clear proof of the mermaid. No capture required, just evidence. The mayor Shlomo Sisso went on record saying that too many independent people had seen the same thing for it to be a lie. NBC sent a film crew to the area. They camped by the beach for several nights. Then one evening, the camera caught it, a silhouette jumping out of the water and disappearing into the waves. The footage was sent to the Ocean Research Center in Los Angeles for analysis. After reviewing it, the director said only one thing: "We cannot confirm it is real, but we cannot prove it is fake either. Everyone is obsessed with finding a live one, but sometimes the ocean gives up the dead." Washed ashore. Let's look at one of the most convincing modern clips. A YouTuber known as Marginal Media shared a video that shocked millions. He said he was simply testing his camera while diving near the Great Barrier Reef in Australia. It was supposed to be a routine test, just capturing the coral and the light refraction. But then, he saw something in the background he could not explain. In the hazy blue water, a human-shaped figure swam right past him. Its body moved like a fish, but the upper half was unmistakably human. He did not notice it at first. It was only later, when he was safe on dry land reviewing the footage frame by frame, that the blood ran cold in his veins. No bubbles, no diving gear, no oxygen tank, and the movement. It was too smooth to be a prop. A human diver jerks around, we fight the water. This thing moved with the water. It is not computer graphics, not a setup, he said. It is real. Skeptics argued, claiming it was a trick of the light or a blurred fish, but for many, the footage looked too natural to dismiss. The creature didn't look at the camera, it didn't care. It just glided by with the arrogance of a predator that knows it owns the environment. And if it really is genuine, then sometimes the most terrifying truths are hiding right inside the most ordinary moments. But we have to look at history to understand what we are seeing, because this isn't new. This might be one of the oldest written records of a mermaid sighting printed in a newspaper over 2 centuries ago. In 1809, a woman named Mrs. Mackay from the coastal town of Thurso, Scotland, claimed she saw a mermaid while walking along the shore. Now, keep in mind, Mrs. Mackay was not known for telling tall tales. She was a respected local. She described the creature as having a round, pale face, thick, oily hair, small eyes, and a wide mouth. Notice the detail about the oily hair. That is a biological detail a liar wouldn't think of. Mammals that live in the water, like seals and otters, have oily coats to repel water and trap heat. Mrs. Mackay claimed the creature did not look afraid at all. Instead, it kept running its hands through its hair and rubbing its neck as if trying to wipe sand from its skin. It was grooming itself, completely unaware or unbothered by the human watching it. Her story was published in the Times Gazette, one of the most reputable papers of the time. This wasn't a tabloid, this was serious news. It became the first official mermaid report in Europe. But here is where it gets strange. More than 200 years later, locals in Thurso still say that on quiet evenings when the tide rolls in, you can hear the faint sound of water brushing against the rocks and see the shape of a woman combing her hair beneath the waves. Maybe what Mrs. Mackay saw that day never truly went away. Maybe that specific cove in Scotland is a migration point, a rest stop for something that has lived alongside us for millennia. And that is putting it lightly, because if the Scotland story was an observation, this next one felt like a warning. If the Florida story was only hearsay, this next one had actual footage, and it shocked the world. On a remote African beach, dozens of locals gathered around a small creature lying on the sand. This wasn't a blurry shape in the distance. It was right there, gasping for air. Its lower half was a fishtail covered in scales that shimmered in the sun, while the upper body resembled a human woman. Her mouth twitched slightly, her eyes half closed as if trying to breathe. The agony on his face was disturbing. It was all caught on camera. The origin of the video remains a mystery. Some say it came from Kenya, others from Ghana. But here is the weird thing. Within days of going viral, the clip disappeared. And I don't mean it was just taken down for copyright. The account that uploaded it vanished. The re-uploads were scrubbed. It was a digital blackout. If it was fake, if it was just a silicone doll or a clever artist's project, why erase it so quickly? Why the aggression? Usually when a hoax goes viral, the creator comes out to claim credit. They want the fame. But here, silence. Total erasure. But if it was real, could this mean mermaids are not just ocean myths, but beings slowly returning to our world? Or perhaps they are casualties of something else. Some theorists believe the creature washed up because it was running from something deep underwater. Military sonar testing. Sonar is loud. It kills whales. It boils the brains of marine life. If there is a civilization down there, maybe we are declaring war on them without even knowing it. Across the Pacific, another story left the marine science community stunned. Diver Jeff Liker was exploring off the coast of Kauai, Hawaii, when he recorded what he believes was the first real evidence of a mermaid. But the context here is crucial. He wasn't just swimming alone, he was swimming with a pod of dolphins. Suddenly he noticed a woman keeping up with them. Now humans can't keep up with dolphins. It's physically impossible. At first, he thought she was a world-class freediver using a monofin, but then she leaped out of the water. The lower half of her body wasn't plastic or rubber. It was a tail. A real muscular tail. An hour later, while Jeff was photographing coral, she appeared again, gliding right past his shoulder. He snapped a few quick shots before she vanished into the deep. Those photos, now known as the Kauai Point evidence, have never been proven fake. But let's look at the wild theory here. Why was she with the dolphins? There is a theory that dolphins act as the dogs of the ocean for these creatures. Dolphins are highly intelligent, social, and protective. If an aquatic humanoid species exists, it makes perfect sense that they would hunt and travel with dolphins. They share the same enemies, sharks and humans. Jeff didn't just see a mermaid, he saw a hunting party. And maybe, just maybe, the dolphins allowed Jeff to see her because they didn't view him as a threat. Now, if you think that is crazy, we have to talk about the swimmers. This is a story the Russian government tried to bury for decades. In 1982, military divers were training in Lake Baikal, the deepest and oldest lake in the world. During a training dive at a depth of 50 meters, the Soviet frogmen encountered a group of strange creatures. They were human-like, nearly 10 feet tall, and wearing tight-fitting silver suits. But they had no scuba gear, no tanks, just helmets. The commander ordered the divers to capture one of these swimmers. It was the biggest mistake of their lives. As the divers tried to throw a net over one of the creatures, a powerful force, like a sonic wave, hit them. It instantly propelled the Russian divers from 50 meters deep all the way to the surface in seconds. Any diver knows what that means. The bends. Their blood boiled. 3 of the divers died instantly. The others were left permanently disabled. The Russian Ministry of Defense sealed the files. But the question remains, what were they? Aliens? Or an ancient branch of humanity that retreated into the deep lakes and oceans thousands of years ago? Lake Baikal connects to underground water systems that we haven't even mapped yet. This fits perfectly with the other stories. They are fast, they are strong, and they have technology or biological defenses that we do not understand. This brings us to the final and perhaps most shocking story of all. It happened in a small fishing village in Tamil Nadu, India. After a powerful high tide, locals discovered a strange body washed up on the beach. From afar, it looked like a small whale or a turtle, but as they got closer, they froze. Lying on the sand was a half-human, half-fish body. Its tail stretched nearly 6 feet long. The head was covered with a white cloth, but the exposed parts showed enough to stun everyone. 5-fingered hands, dried, human-like skin, and a chest that revealed a rib-like structure. This wasn't a fish. Fish don't have ribs like ours. Fish don't have fingers. Crowds gathered, filming and whispering in disbelief. Some elderly fishermen claimed they had heard stories from their ancestors about deep water people, guardians of the sea, but none had ever seen one. The footage went viral, prompting Indian scientists to investigate, yet no official statement was ever released. The body was quietly taken to a local lab and never seen again. Just like in Africa, the evidence was confiscated. But the aftermath is the terrifying part. That night, villagers said the waves rose higher than usual. The ocean became violent. It pounded the shore for days, as if something out there was searching for what had been taken, as if they wanted their kin back. So here is the deal. We have to stop pretending we know everything about our planet. We know that 95% of the ocean is unexplored. We know that species like the coelacanth, a fish thought to be extinct for 65 million years, was found alive in 1938. Is it really that crazy to think a primate could have adapted to the water? There is a scientific theory called the aquatic ape theory. It suggests that human ancestors spent a lot of time in the water, losing their fur and gaining layers of subcutaneous fat to stay warm. It explains why we are the only primates that can hold our breath voluntarily. It explains why our fingers get wrinkly in water to improve our grip on wet rocks. It explains why human babies instinctively know how to swim. Maybe a branch of our family tree never left the ocean. Maybe they went deeper. While we evolved to build cities and look at the stars, they evolved to withstand crushing pressure and darkness. Think about the bloop. In 1997, NOAA recorded an ultra-low frequency sound underwater. It was the loudest sound ever recorded in the ocean. Scientists said it was an ice quake, but the audio profile, it matched the signature of a living creature. But for a creature to make a sound that loud, it would have to be massive, or it would have to use technology. Maybe the bloop wasn't a roar. Maybe it was a signal. The sightings in Israel, the attacks in Zimbabwe, the bodies in Florida and India, and the encounter in Lake Baikal all point to the same thing. We are not alone on this planet. We are sharing it with a species that is smarter, faster, and more elusive than we are. They are watching us pollute their home. They are watching us test our bombs. And every now and then, they come up to the surface to remind us that the ocean does not belong to us. Was it just coincidence, or proof that mermaids might truly dwell beneath the Indian Ocean? Or are they waiting for the right moment to reveal themselves? And if they do, will it be a handshake or an invasion? Because if the Russian divers are any indication, they aren't afraid to fight back. So, do you think the government is hiding the truth about what lives in the deep, or is it all a hoax? Hit the like button if you want to see more evidence, and subscribe to join the investigation.